I'm TarotOracle, and this is my review of the Magic Box, otherwise known as the Fantome Tarot. Okay, so on the side, we got La Musia design inside of said Magic Box. We have magical ingredients or, cards and stuff. Okay, so we have thank you for making this project come to life. Again, this is the Fantome Tarot. We're the Fantome card holder. We just put the card into the little wooden insert, and that will allow you to display the card and make it look very nice. So that comes with that. And if you get the deluxe version, you also get a bag. I don't know which versions this comes with, but we get a bag in, I believe, the deluxe version. So it's very nice feel. I like it has a raised area here with all the design, so it's not just like printed on there like an image. It feels like it's sewed in. I also like the tassels. I think they were well designed as well. Inside the bag is nicely lined. The whole thing is very soft and silky and velvety feeling. I like it. There is the back of the bag, so you can see that. As you dive deeper into it, again, the deluxe version comes with a couple of little extras that you don't get in the basic. So here you get a couple of sticks. You get a gem. You get another gem, and you get your extras. So there we go. There is what you get in the little baggie that comes with the deluxe version. Now you also get a very nice cloth. Now this is a pretty good cloth, I gotta say. Let me move this so we can see the cloth a little bit better. So the cloth is very, very silk, very silk. It's nice and thin. I mean, you can sort of see, well, you can't see now, but it's sort of a little bit thin, but I like it. The design is very beautiful. It is pretty good sized cloth as well. So if you're looking for a cloth to do your readings on, I will be using this on stream. It's definitely something that is included in the deluxe version that you definitely want to have. If you end up pre-ordering this or ordering this or whatnot, you definitely want to pick up the cloth because it is pretty nice and looks like it's going to read very well. We'll put the cards out on the cloth so you can kind of see it. Here is the back of the cloth as well. So overall, I like that part of the package too. Now you also get this, which apparently is a journal, I guess. I guess it's a journal, a bunch of blank pages and whatnot. So that comes with the box. Now also in the box, you get a postcard, if you're so inclined to sending postcards. Now you have a Fantome postcard, which you can use for your postcard addictions. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit and check this out a little bit closer so we can get some more details. There we go. All right, Fantome Tarot decks in front of the box and the back of the box. Let's open it up and check out the cards. Now, obviously this is a nice hardbound box, which is what you definitely want. So let's see what's inside. Let's get our opinions on what we see within the cards and whatnot. Turning it right side up is always a good thing. So it's a little offset box. Yeah, some people may not be a fan. I don't think it's that big of a deal for me, but it is offset. In other words, it doesn't go in flush. So let's open this up and kind of see what's in here. There's the bottom of the back there. All right, so the book is a little bit smaller than the box. All right. Book is nice. It's in full color. We'll take a look deeper into the book. It also comes with an app too. We'll take a little deeper look at the app as well momentarily. But here you are with the book. I love that it's full color. The book is 92 pages. So there you go, multi-dimensional guidebook. So this is very integrated with an application that we'll show you in just a minute. But for now, I think 90% of you want to look at the cards. So we're going to break out the cards and check those out, see what they look like, and see what kind of card action we can get in here. All right, open this up. Probably, there's that plastic removal. It's so satisfying, I gotta say, on cards. All right, here we go. The actual Fantome cards with the Fantome card deck. And that's pretty cool. Let's zoom in a little more. Very, very glossy cardstock is the first thing that strikes me. Like very, very glossy. So turn these to the side. Here is the back. Ooh, nice. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So satisfying. Very glossy. Obviously has a pretty thick gloss coat on it. Cardstock comes to about here. So, I mean, some people are going to say it's thin. Some people are not going to say it's thin. I don't know what to do. I mean, thinness is based upon your preference, you know. Oh, man, look at that. It sorts out nicely. Nice spreadable cardstock with that glossy finish. All right, here is a side of it. So let's look at this and take a look at some of the cards. The Fool, I like. It has that multi-dimensional feel to it. Got the Magician. Very cool. I like this. Sort of a sword and a wand in the same thing. We have the Cup and the Pentacles. I'm sort of dealing with something in the middle. We have the High Priestess. I like that she's holding the moon. I think that's a very cool aspect of that. The Empress, I like that as well. Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, definitely on the digital side, definitely on the lit, you know, you need lighted components and whatnot. Emperor, pretty standard. The background is kind of samey across all of the cards, but you know, whatever. Hierophant, I like that. And the Lovers, that's interesting. Sort of like a present, you know, sort of standing up, moving up into this, right? Sort of need to move up to here. We have a seated angel and whatnot. I think we have a lot of cool things with that. And we have the Chariot, which is also cool. So kind of holding the same wand and at an angle. I like the 45-degree angle of the Chariot within that. Strength, I like the fact that it's digital. There's sort of an ethereal card with that. Again, very glossy, very glossy cardstock. Now, Wheel. Oh, sorry, I missed one. Hermit. Hermit's kind of interesting. More of a steering at the light instead of steering into the distance. Elevation is not as exaggerated as some of the others that you got. Wheel of Fortune. Interesting. I like it. Again, we have the stepping component, stepping up into maybe another dimension or whatnot. I'll probably explain more in the book. We'll see. Justice. Ooh, that's interesting. That's in front of her face. It's like Justice is blind because blinded by the sword, and then the the scales are on top of the sword. Hanged Man. I like it. Death, ooh, it's interesting. This is sort of riding in on a disc or something, you know? And you have the elevated city in the background. I kind of like that. It's kind of like that. It's almost like we're welcoming death into here. And again, we have the elevated platforms and the step theme coming in here. And we have a handless interaction with the Temperance. Devil, you know, kind of a digital aspect with there. Again, the application will explain some of the symbology. We'll see that at the end of the video. When you can scroll through the YouTube scroller and get to the parts that you need to go. So it's clearly labeled down there. Just look down there. The Tower, I like it. Again, with the steps, some pieces falling off. We have this person kind of falling from downward. Oh, interesting. So you have one downward, one upward, which is kind of cool. We have the Star. Ooh, I like sort of the bird aspect with that. I think that's kind of cool too. Then we have the Moon. I think the Moon is pretty cool. Yeah, we have a separation here. It's almost like the Fool card. We have a separation between the two mountainous areas. Then we have the Sun, which is interesting. We're not riding anything. We're just sitting on something. And the horse is just kind of trying to keep up. I think that's kind of cool. And we got Judgment, which is also pretty cool. I like the rebirth, the reincarnation has, the people are in color, and you have a variety of people within that. And then, of course, the World, and kind of interesting with all of the components, symbology within that. Ace of Pentacles, again, with the steps sort of presenting instead of coming out from one side, we're presenting from one thing. We got the Two of Pentacles, which I also like. Two of Pentacles I do like. That I like the water around there, how perilous that the Pentacles are. Three of Pentacles, pretty interesting. I mean, you do have an elevated person doing the work. You'd have people watching and what have you. And we have the Four of Pentacles, which is sort of being closed off, but the chakras are not covered. It's more like it looks like more of an Eight of Pentacles kind of feel with that. And Five of Pentacles, similar thing, sort of poor, homeless, but seated. I think that's more of a relaxing Five of Pentacles than you normally would get. Six of Pentacles, you have the scale being much more prominent in here than you would normally see. It almost looks like he's not giving anything out. He's just sort of sitting there contemplating what he needs to do, which I think is pretty cool. Then you got the Seven of Pentacles, where he has buried things. This is kind of a premature Nine of Pentacles, don't you think? I mean, we have the Seven of Pentacles where we have it buried, but it's more robust and more lush and more grown than you normally would see. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles, which I think is cool, sort of working on that, pretty traditional. Nine of Pentacles, where everything is from the seven has blossomed and become pretty cool. The Ten of Pentacles, happy home, happy family. It's almost interesting. It's almost like a Six of Pentacles where they're giving away, almost reaching out. So you have a lot of people with hands out, right? Very expressive hands out contemplation here. Speaking of contemplation, Page of Pentacles, as always, looking towards the pentacle and thinking of things. Knight of Pentacles, being proud of their environment or whatnot. Then you have the Queen of Pentacles, sort of holding on to the rabbit and having the pentacle there. And the King of Pentacles, pretty standard, sort of focused on the pentacle itself. Ace of Cups. I like this. I like this. Instead of the bird coming from above, the bird is coming at an angle, and the cup has water, a lot of water flowing from it. Two of Cups, love, very cool. Kind of, pretty standard here. Pretty standard as it goes. Three of Cups, also standard. The distance between the people is much more than a traditional Rider-Waite. Three of Cups, but you do have the joining of the cups and the joining of the action there. And Four of Cups, pretty standard, being offered something out of almost like a doorway, being offered something out of a doorway instead of out of the side of the card. Five of Cups, kind of abandonment or disappointment as it goes. And you have the Six of Cups with the family, sharing and whatnot. I think that's pretty traditional. Seven of Cups, I like this as well. I think they did a pretty good job on this. All the different selections have been maintained, kinda. You do have the dragon, you have the serpent, you have the figure. Eight of Cups, the traditional abandonment, but with the steps again. A lot of steps in here. I'm kind of interested to see if the book will address that, or if the application that comes with it will address that as well. We have the Nine of Cups, which I like. I think that's a good representation of that. I think they did a good job here. And then the Ten of Cups, the happy family with the younger children and whatnot, sort of the younger family. And Page of Cups with the fish, not one fish, but two. I like it. Also like the fish have a place to go or a wave to ride. Knight of Cups, Mr. Romance, being pretty traditional as well. And we're back to sort of this open doorway theme, which I like. And we have the Queen of Cups, a more decorative cup as traditional. But in this one, it's digital. So you have more of an ethereal look. And then the King of Cups, who's actually standing. The various dangerous waves, the isolation of the king has been represented pretty well there. Ace of Wands, pretty traditional. Again, sort of pulling out of this doorway. I like it. Then you have the Two of Wands, domain, sort of looking at the side. Interesting. Looking at the side instead of looking outward towards his domain or his territory. We have the Three of Wands looking out to the sea. You sort of see the sea here again with the steps. I think that's interesting. Four of Wands. I like the joined celebration in the Four of Wands. One object being held, being celebrated, and again with the steps. Five of Wands. Sort of a playful fighting and whatnot. It's interesting that it looks like not everybody is engaged in the fighting, only some people. We have the Six of Wands, the Lord of Victory, riding in there. Seven of Wands being a little bit defensive against nobody. That's interesting, right? Against nobody. There's nobody actually attacking them. The wands are just sitting there. So it's like a phantom, being the threat or what have you. You do have sort of these almost like tentacles at the top, which I think is quite cool. 8 of Wands, you get a movement. You do have a city involved in this one. 9 of Wands, the injured, wounded warrior. And then the 10 of Wands, being a little bit over encumbered. And again, with the steps being an active participant within the card. Page of Wands, just sort of reflective of that. Knight of Wands, not much fire. Yeah. The elements in the deck are kind of disappointing. I mean, I wanted more fire in the wands. I wanted more water in the cups and what have. I mean, the water is in the cups, but the fire element seems to be underrepresented with that. Queen of Wands, master of multitasking, with the traditional sunflowers and whatnot, and the cat. Everybody wants to make sure the cat is preserved in the Queen of Wands, rightfully so. And, you know, the King of Wands, there you go. All right, Ace of Swords, pretty traditional, I gotta say. Pretty traditional, sans the cloud and whatnot. 2 of Swords, not seated anymore. Not seated, but standing. I think that's interesting. Swords are not crossed, the swords are vertical instead. 3 of Swords, yeah, pretty cool representation of this. 4 of Swords, I think that's kind of cool. I like how that's sort of surrounding him instead of being on top of him. Normally it's on top, 3 swords are facing downward, almost like in a threatening manner. But in this one, it's almost like the threat is not there. And 5 of Swords, the Lord of Defeat. That's interesting that the victor is sitting down and the others are standing up. I think that's kind of cool. The 6 of Swords, the trip into the better land. Ooh, I like the better land out there. Ooh, looking back. Ooh, cool. The added element of looking backwards. That's going to be good with card interactions. This whole deck looks great for card interaction. 7 of Swords, sneaking out. Ooh, but we're actually literally stealthing past this particular individual here. 8 of Swords, I like this, being restricted, but also being cool, I guess, with the sunglasses and whatnot. 9 of Swords, the nightmares and what have you. It's interesting they're not in a bed, nor are they asleep, right? They're sort of holding their face in their hand. 10 of Swords, yeah, pretty traditional, I guess, but on an elevated platform with their hand hanging down. Page of Swords, interesting. I think it's interesting that the sword makes that sort of a symbol and whatnot. Knight of Swords, I think it's also kind of cool. And let's see what else we got. We got Queen of Swords, pretty cool. We got King of Swords. Then we got the Artist, which I'm not sure what that is, but we'll look at the book. And the Artist is there, so the Artist is elevated. The cat is back, not a black cat, but a cat nonetheless. And then we have the Reader. Ooh, interesting. Sort of like pulling a card out of a spread position and then focusing intently on it. I like it. All right, so that's sort of a look at the deck. Now let's put the deck back in the box. The reason I say that is because it's too small for the box. So the deck will jostle around. So I know some of you are picky about this, but so, I mean, you want a negative, that's a little, you know, I mean, obviously we can put something in there to buffer it out, but just for the box is a little too big for the actual deck. All right, have the whole thing. Now, obviously, if you leave it like that and you move the cards around a lot, you will damage. Most likely damage the cards. I mean, it does have a thick gloss on it. The more impact you have against that, the worse off you're going to be. So if you do get the deck, I would recommend that you put something in here to offset that a little bit so you won't have any damaged cards at the end of the day. Now, even unwrapped, the box is also still offset. In other words, it doesn't close flush. So I think that's going to be a problem for most people, but just be aware that that is the case. All right, so let's move on and look at the application. Let's use the application to lay out some spreads, and let's use the application to get more detail in some of these cards.